I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the light.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mirsha. Hi, I'm hello, blathering human. Thank you both for coming. So today's flight is based on a real-life flight, as in this is described in the description. This is the Airbus A350 from Edelweiss, and when they took delivery of this aircraft, they did a small tour over Europe, various different airports. Of course, this airplane wouldn't regularly fly to Zurich as we're going to do today. This is a long-range aircraft, so this is like a charm operation performed by Edelweiss Europa. Where the heck did this talk came from? So Edelweiss this as a charming operation to present their plane, basically, and fine with us, I suppose. So we are getting ready to depart. So we're gonna start by inspecting the exterior. So we're just making sure there's no leakages, the compression of the main piston on the main landing gear, sorry, the nose landing gear. Tires look okay. Let's go back here. This is a huge plane for such a small flight. I'm going to do this fairly quick, mainly because this, however amazing, for me at least, to be walking around this huge beast, it's also just for show. There's no real point. So when we look up here, we're looking, it's hardly, you can hardly see it, but we're looking at that cross over there. I don't know if you guys can see it. There are two holes in here. We're basically looking for if the tank was ever overpressurized, this cross would not be visible. So there it is visible. Let's just confirm the main landing gear, left main landing gear. So we're checking for the brake pads. Look okay, no leakages. This plane does not simulate that far, but we still need to perform. Also looking at the main fuselage, the underbelly, see if there's any open panels or leakages. Same with the APU. Just looking for any possible oil leaks or fuel leaks. Actually, will be a rough day if it had any fuel or oil leaks. So looks okay. Where are you from, Blathering Human? I've seen you before in my streams. Hello, Jose. Also, welcome for coming. Welcome for coming. That's not even a phrase. Thank you for coming. Welcome. That's what I wanted to say. All right, so brake pads look okay. No leakages. Compression on the main landing gear. Both of them look okay. We should go up there and see if the overpressurization signal, but let's not do that. Let's not spend any more time outside because we need to get up airborne. Just checking my static ports here. Checking also my oxygen is green. So back to the nose, just coming around here to check this side of the static ports. Looks okay. Now we usually would have a ladder here, but since we don't have it, we're just going to teleport inside the plane. The reason not having the ladder is because GSX can only just a nice look into the avionics bay. It's just because GSX does not simulate ground equipment until I get in the plane. So I just press fly now and the plane is ready to go, but I need to initialize it. So when I go in, pressing Shift C, the plane will now initialize. And yes, this weird sound is like the plane. See, the plane just moved back. So there's an issue here when we climb on board. Not sure if she's back, Betty. Hello. Hello, Betsy. So yeah, there's a small glitch there, and this will cause the stairs to be offset when loading passengers. You will see. All right, so this is Faro Airport, and we are going today for Zurich in Switzerland, home of Edelweiss. So let's start our plane. You know this part. You know I like this part so much when the plane just comes to life. So batteries, performing self-tests. There are two main batteries and two backup batteries. So they're emergency batteries. These are the main bat 1, main bat 2, main emergency bat 1, and emergency bat 2. All right. So here comes the beautiful sound. Check it out. All these clicks you're hearing in the background are the computer starting up in the main avionics bay just behind us on the floor, under the floor. So we're just loading the aircraft. This is a cold and dark situation. So the plane will now initialize. As you can see, lots of TV screens. This is a whole level of performance and technology. So we're not going to press anything here. We're just going to go and start our flight ops by importing our flight plan. We'll probably be slightly late today, but no big deal. That's why I wanted to rush things to get on board. So we got Gakoting, which is the name of Faro Airport to Zurich, and we'll be having a flight level 400 at Naples. Now, for some reason, Beyond ATC will only take my initial flight level for some reason. I need to request flight level 400 after this Naples waypoint. We will see how this is performed. This is a Beyond ATC limitation. It's not importing what this is called step climb. It's not importing the step climb for some reason, but let's do brief very fast. So Faro to Zurich. So right there, Zurich. It's Lima Sierra Zulu Oscar from this destination. Hello, Andrew. Welcome. We got a cost index of 140. Zero fuel weight predicted will be estimated 17.0. And coming back down here on the routing, we got an expected departure of runway 28 2 picks, 1 Victor, and an arrival at Zurich and runway 34 via Dopil 2 Golf. This is ironically both departures I've done before. So, and arrivals. So regarding fuel, we got takeoff fuel at 19.7 and block fuel will be 20.3. So let's input all that data. So we go here to our flight plan, nothing, just confirming nothing is input. So we go initialization, company flight plan requested, received. Let's insert. There it is, Faro to Zurich with an alternate. I believe this is Lausanne, if I'm not mistaken. We'll confirm that in a moment. And we got Econ, cost index 140, that is correct. Our ILS is aligning. Not ILS, INS, sorry. So let's listen now to our H's for today. We are having some fine weather today, so it's going to be fine to take off from Faro. There's a huge storm approaching the Portugal coast in Saturday or Sunday. Alright, so it is speaking. We just have our radios turned off. That's amateur. So let's monitor. Also our cabin and intercom. Volume's down, that's now. Let's put it on max. Are we? 124205. Oh, beyond ATC just did it crash though? I think beyond ATC crashed. Let's reload beyond ATC. Give me a moment here. There's always something, guys. So beyond ATC. All right, loading again. That's the sound of beyond ATC reloading. All right, Mirsha. Starting off on the wrong foot right now. All right, beyond ATC is connecting now. Give me a moment.
Faro Airport information uniform.
There we go.
705 Zulu, wind 220 at 4, visibility 10 miles or more. Few clouds at 3000, temperature 24, dew point 18, QNH 1016, landing and departing runway 28, transition level 040, bird activity in vicinity of airport.
Bird activity, nice.
Information uniform.
Not just Lisbon then.
Faro Airport information uniform.
So we got uniform.
705 Zulu, wind 220 at 4, visibility 10 miles or more.
Everybody wants to hear my beloved Betsy talking, but not right now. We're going to request our CPDLC, so that's our departure clearance via data link. So we are going to go to requests, clearance, departure. Faro, gate 325. And we got uniform. Bingo. All right, let's do transfer to mailbox and now send. So this is working with beyond ATC data. If I correctly connected it to beyond ATC, did I? I don't think I did. No, I did not, sorry. It's not going to work, so we're going to request it again. I don't know, we'll see. We got ourselves some messages here, so let's see. We got METAR for Faro 260 at 10, KVOC Temperature 22, dew point 10, QNH 1015, pretty good weather conditions. The TAF also looks okay, nothing serious coming our way. Let's check Zurich, although we'll request it in a moment. So let's go first for the METAR. So we got winds 300 at 8, 3,500, and we got rain. Nice. So there's rain in Zurich waiting for us. We got scared, broken, QNH 11, temperature 11 and dew point 11. So really raining. And we got some temporary rain showers at, becoming rain showers. And we got QNH 1017 in Zurich. So bad weather expecting us in Zurich. Nothing too bad. Let's import our Simbrief data. And let's load with GSX and hope that today it works correctly.
Refueling truck is on its way.
Refueling truck income. Oh, what was that? What's going on there? She should be in the cabin, not up the stairs. That's a glitch. Beyond ETC. No, it's GSX this time, not Beyond ETC. All right, so we need to load 2,331 kilograms of fuel. I believe that's exactly what we got. Not sure. The fuel truck will come and we'll confirm that. This plane has like a memorized fuel expenditure. So previous flight, if I did a flight that when I landed got this fuel amount, this is the next flight will also carry the same fuel amount. So it's pretty cool. Gives us like a continuation. I don't know. Continuity, if you want. So let's request ground force. Ooh, sorry about that. So let's. Oh, it didn't allow me to choose the fuel quantity. All right, no big deal. We got chocks on. We got the GPU on. I think this is the fuel quantity for the flight, isn't it? Yeah, 20.3. So fuel truck is not doing much. So let's see. It's probably not going to load any fuel. Oh, that animation is off sync. It is loading fuel. Misha, drive carefully, man. If you're driving and listening, just listen, don't watch. Yeah, I think we missed the CPDLC clearance, so let's try again. 325 and the DAT's code uniform. Let's transfer to mailbox one more time and send one more time. Let's see. So our nav accuracy has been upgraded. We got primary. Now let's see if this works. Last time it wasn't. Oh, there it is. It does work. All we need to do is not log on to the system and it will work. Yeah, it's Geneva, not Lausanne. So Geneva. Zurich is not being updated for some reason. So we got ATIS call, but not for Zurich. And this is outdated. This is Juliet. Our current ATIS is uniform, so this is outdated. Cleared for Zurich Airport 1128 departure via 2P1 Victor squawk 1546. So we'll comply and send. When ready, call 118.58. We'll do just that. And if unable, revert to voice. Alright, so let's go squawk 1546. 1546. done. Squawk is turned off for the moment, but we'll turn it on in a moment. So we don't have weather for Zurich. This is going to be a problem, I think. Clearance confirmed. Clearance confirmed. So let's close this for now. Actually, no. I need to insert that data. So let's go to flight plan. DATS isn't here, but maybe it's in our... Yeah, maybe it's here. No, 1710. It's not Zulu correct, so it should be later than that. Although it's flashing, so it's weird. Sometimes this happens. It's definitely when we started our flight. We have other ways to get METAR, so no worries. So let's insert that data. So we're going to depart runway 28 via 2P1 Victor, exactly as we briefed. So no transition, temporary insert. We can also go to our flight plan and we can insert the destination data, although it's quite frequent that the destination will change. So it might not be runway 34, it might be runway 28, for example. This arrival will change, but most likely we'll still get Dopil 2 Golf as an approach, because it's very specific for Zurich. We'll see. But for now, we'll go through with what's pre-briefed. So it's runway 34 predicted. Approach ILS via Gippel. I know this from the top of my head, but you should look into the charts to Dopil 2 Golf. There's actually another approach here that's not present currently that will give you direct approach to the ILS for runway 24. 28, sorry, runway 28. So we'll see. Well, this is something that only ATC will give us once we get closer to that. But at least we got our full flight plan inserted. For our fuel calculation, this is very important to get our fuel calculations correctly. So since ground ops is not calling for boarding, I'm going to have to do it by hand. So the cargo doors are opening. The aft cargo door is open. The forward cargo door should be opening. There it goes. And now the stairways will also move forward. So cool to see these things. I mean, it's just for show because we can clearly take off and just load the weights in automatically, instantly. But come on, guys. It never gets old to see the plane being boarded. All these little gizmos operating. Look at that. And of course we can come outside and we get to see these things up close. I mean, look at this. How cool is that? Never mind the GPU memory, whatever. I wish I could remove that message because it's not entirely true. Doors are opening, so the trucks will be arriving anytime. And you know, this main door is for first class, so let's just greet the first class passengers. Oh, look at that. What company is that? You know, oh my, I got my fighter pilot suit on. This guy, he can walk around the world. There's actually some add-ons with vehicles, with ground vehicles. You can have cars, you can even have boats in Flight Simulator. It's pretty cool. Where are my passengers though? All right, let's carry on loading our plane here. No, do not attach the pushback. All right, so the cargo is being loaded. Passengers are not, but
Passengers bus is coming.
there they come. I just had to speak. All right, so also let's check maintenance to see if we have any issues. So the batteries have been worn a little bit, not too much, still good enough. I believe there's a minimum for the battery power, so if the battery goes below a certain level, you can replace them. There's a button right here to replace. Also, APU service has been operating for 40 hours, still good, with good oil quantity for the APU, same for the engines. Hydraulics is running a little low on the green system, but you know, it's no big deal. These planes are overpressurized, so usually an airplane will fly with 33,000 psi if I'm not mistaken.
Passengers
But
boarding starting.
since the A380, Airbus figured out that if you overpressurize the system, you can actually have less hydraulic fluid because it will be overpressured and feeding all the systems. So it's actually an economy choice to be overpressured. And no, it's not unsafe. Don't worry about that. Alright, so the passengers are finally loading in. Let's go outside to greet them then. But only the first class, because, you know, here they come. So this is Mr. McBaldy. He works with Bitcoin. That's why he can afford first class. And this is Mr. Moneymaker and Manban, famous artist from the Czech Republic. Manban, welcome, great fan, love your music. Yes, sir. Can you afford this ticket? Apparently you can. Oh, is that K-pop superstar Melina coming in? I believe that's her. Nope, just a regular girl. Sorry about that. Oh. You guys are not dressed for first class. What's this? I mean, the guy in front, I love your haircut, but... backpack and a cap? Really? Can't judge people by the looks, right? And oh, what's going on? They're melding. Oh well. Let's go back to the plane. So we're just now waiting for the loading to be completed. Again, the GPU memory message. So we are currently, there's no passenger indicator here. So we're currently loading 106 passengers. There it is, 108 now. Probably 2 buses to load all these passengers in.
Passengers bus is coming.
There you go, see? It's not like I can see into the future, but I know my GSX. Alright, let's go to our takeoff data. No wind? What do you mean no wind? Oh. Alright, so 133V1, 138VR, 146V2, we got flaps 1, and we got thrust reduction at 1,313 feet, sorry. And yeah, THS 28.7, and we got a flex temperature of 42 degrees. That's been sent to the performance page. We're just going to confirm that. There it is. So thrust acceleration, deceleration at 1013, but the airplane rounds to 1020, fine. THS, that's the trim, 28.7. Now the speeds 133 knots, 138 knots, 146, 138, 133, 138, 146, confirmed. Bam. Now let's go to our surveillance and let's turn on our transponder. So I just go here and select default settings, and it sets the majority of systems that it is required to on and auto, such as the TARA with the normal above or below. It sets to normal. ADS-B traffic, of course, very important. And of course our weather radar WX, which is turned off until I press this button right here. A little different from the 320 family. So we got our ATIS in, we got our CPDLC performed. All we need to do now is wait for the passengers to board and we'll be good to go. So let's start our APU. We need to get on our way. We can close this menu for now. These bigger planes, the only issue you will have is the time it takes to load passengers and cargo. But there's a kind of a plus on that side, because oh, she doesn't have the keyboard? Oh, now it can flip the keyboard in. So it has a blessing, like I was saying. Basically, these planes will most of the times load 3 stairs. So even though there's more passengers to load in and it will take some time, the fact that it has 3 stairs will make loading a little faster than you would expect. Still, takes an awful long time because there's a lot of people. Gears and pins removed. We're going to cockpit preparation. Fuel quantity, we got 31.9 fuel on board. It's kind of high for our flight. That's not what the FOB we should have, but we'll confirm that in a moment. Let's turn on our seatbelt signs. As well as arm the emergency lights, start our APU. Barrel reference, we got 1016 and cross-checked. Whoops, barrel reference, there it is. Checklist complete.
Passenger's bus is coming.
A third bus, nice. So let's confirm here on our load sheet. And yeah, we got too much fuel loaded by GSX here. So fuel on board is 31.9 when realistically it should be 20.3. So we're going to press this little button here and we're going to go instant if it allows us to do so. Apparently it's bugged, as you can see. Let me confirm if the fuel has been reloaded. No, it's still a little bit above what it should be. Not a little bit, actually quite a bit. So it should be, it's about 11,000 kilograms, 11 tons more than what we should have. So I'm not sure why this happened, because I pressed sync with load with GSX, but the fuel did load some fuel, and the fuel truck did load some fuel. It's not too bad, the plane can take it. It's just we don't want to take too much fuel. I guess what we got here is the block fuel, and what is required should be 20.3, but that's not what the OFP is telling us right here. So fuel on board should be, according to our flight plan, 20.3 block fuel right there. So it's taking 11 tons more. You know, it's somewhere between Inibuilds and GSX. There's some issue there. So 230 passengers out of 324. As you can see, this plane has 3 classes. This is first class, business class, and economy divided in 2. So I would say this is economy plus, and this is pure economy. Not sure. But this is definitely executive, and this is definitely first. Maybe 4 classes or 3 classes and a half, if you wish. CG cannot be trusted right now. We need to wait for the passengers full load because this is real time. So we need to wait for the passengers to load in to have our proper fuel info. So since we got a lot of fuel, let's just spend it. I'm already using the APU, so shutting down the external power, two lines. This will also enable the air conditioning while the passengers are being loaded in. So we are going today to Zurich, which is raining. Well, Zurich isn't raining. It is raining in Zurich, that's what I meant. Alright, everyone's loaded in. Let's disconnect our GPU, no longer required. Let's also begin the pushback and departure procedures. So the doors will be closing, and we'll be calling our tower our ground, sorry, to request push and start in a moment once we are given the clearance by the ground crew. So beacon on, wing lights on.
Captain, we are ready for pushback.
Copy. Checklist. Before start checklist, let's proceed. Parking brake is set. Takeoff speeds have been set. Thrust has also been set. Slides. Again, I shouldn't need to be doing this. It should be the crew doing it, but we'll do it for them. Slides are on. Beacon is on. Let's see. No steer disconnect. Memo is on the ECAM. Checklist complete. Alrighty, so we're going to wait for the tug to move in. There it goes. Let's watch from the outside. It's always cool.
Locking gear.
So basically now the ground crew, this guy, will move forward and it will insert a pin that will disable nose wheel steering for the pilots. After that, the tug will pick up the wheels, the front nose gear wheels, and it will raise the plane so it's out of the ground. It's pretty much holding the weight of the plane there. I believe. Oh, it's remote control. I believe. Yeah, continue pushback. Sometimes this happens. Come on. Oh, we need to request from the... He didn't move to push the pin though, but alright, whatever. So let's call beyond ATC. Let's call Faro ground, request push and start.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, gate 325 request pushback and engine start.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, Faro ground, pushback and engine start approved, face east.
So let's face east.
289 heavy.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake released. Oh my. So many little issues here. Parking brake is off and we're not moving. Oh, yeah, equipment is always right.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Starting number 1. It is an amazing aircraft. Huge and yet very elegant. One of the best looking planes out there, and the Edelweiss livery is absolutely stunning. Just listen to that sound. I'll shut up now. Oh my, yeah, I forgot this. Sorry about that. We'll continue with the operation though. Start number 2. Forgot the performance, which is never good. 0 fuel weight 170.1, 0 fuel weight CG 29.9. Yeah, correct. And of passengers is 287. That's all that was missing. 287. No, there it goes. So we initialized our weights correctly. That's the reason why you have 2 pilots on board. So you saw that I completely forgot to initialize the weights. Well, what's going on? Sliding.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Something's going on. What's... Whoa! What is this? Yet another bug. Let's just respond to these guys and tell them that...
Cockpit to ground. We suspect an engine problem. We need to go back to the parking spot.
No! No! No. No.
All aircraft be advised.
No.
Information victim now current. QNH
This is a huge bug. No, I don't care. Let's taxi to the runway.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, request taxi.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, runway 28 taxi via Delta, prepare.
Runway 28 taxi via Delta, prepare. Edelweiss 289 Heavy.
After start checklists, NTIs not required. Flight controls, let's check them. Full deflection left, neutral. Full deflection right, neutral. Full pitch up, neutral. Full pitch down, neutral. Full rudder left, neutral. And full rudder right, neutral. Flight controls have been checked. Pitch is set to take off 30.3. Ground clearance, let's pretend it happened because GSX just borked. Checklist complete. Let's taxi to the active now. So we gotta go for Delta and Papa. Delta is this one, so Papa is that one, so we need to go forward. We no longer need this. Let's go to terminal charts, Faro. Let's load our chart for departure, which is Thule 1 X-ray, if I'm not mistaken. Tupix, not Tulix, Tupix, there it is. So let's zoom in our runway. Yeah, there's a lot of Jet 2s and Volatia as well. Airlines we don't see in Lisbon Airport. Because they're cheap and they like to fly in lower costing airfields. So let's set flaps 1 for takeoff. Let's also turn on our RTO for takeoff. Ground spoilers to arm. We're just gonna wait for the cabin. Usually if I press all, the cabin will be ready instantly. There it is. Well, no, not yet. Still waiting for the cabin though. So this is Faro Airport in the southern Portugal. Cabin is still not ready.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, contact Faro Tower 120.755, bye-bye.
Contact Tower 120.755 Edelweiss 289 heavy.
Yeah, we're gonna wait here because we got some checklists to perform. Some bumps on this scenery in Faro, not sure why. So we got a taxi checklist, need to complete them. So the flaps is set to flaps 1. And we got our radar system is turned on, and let's turn on over here. Now let's go for the ECAM status. Takeoff, no blue. So taxi checklist complete. Let's call it in.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, ready for departure.
You look good today, Betsy.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, Faro Tower, wind 260 at 4, runway 28 cleared for takeoff.
Runway 28 cleared.
So we got cleared for takeoff. Cabin is secured. We got takeoff runway 28 confirmed. And we got Paxton 1 and 2 are turned on. Checklist complete. Alright, let's go. Let's warn our guys in the back. Let's go to 20 here. 40, 80 there. There we go. Little to the left. All right, you guys ready? So here we go. Everything looks fine and dandy. Didn't miss anything. Let's go. 50% trust. Release. And let's go to flex. Flex 42, set SRS runway. Airspeed alive. 80. 100. 120.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Thrust lever to climb. Climb box.
700 feet.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, Faro departure. Good afternoon. Identified. Climb to flight level 100.
Climb to flight level 100. Edelweiss 289 Heavy.
Speed check, flaps up. Still carrying the plane by hand. We are cleared to climb to flight level 100. And then we'll be clear for flight level 190, and then we'll do our step climb as briefed. And hoping that Beyond ATC will allow us to do just that. Waiting for our turn left. Wind is very mild today. There's our right and left turn. We can engage autopilot now, so I can continue on with the after takeoff memory items. Flaps up. Spoilers disarmed. Taxi lights, nose lights actually, off. Our transition altitude is 4,000 feet. It's not that busy, Andrew. There's a lot of flights now because of the summertime, but that's winding down. We're following this SID here that will make this left-hand turn all the way to Tupix as our final waypoint. Some clouds, but main rough weather will come tomorrow. Or maybe Saturday, sorry, not tomorrow. Alright, we're passing the transition altitude. Let's set both to standard. Enjoying the flight, Betsy? You gonna give me the silent treatment again? She hates my guts. So let's confirm our step climbs now, because I don't want to get bad surprises up ahead. So let's go to our OFP. Let's go back to the initial page. So our step climb should be at NAPES flight level 400. So let's do that. Let's go to our cruise. At NAPES 400. There it is. We'll have to confirm this with ATC. So where is NAPES? Right there. So we are after Tupix. We're gonna start climbing for NAPES, flight level 400.
Contact Lisbon Center 119.55.
Center on 119.55 Edelweiss
There it is.
289 Heavy. Lisbon Center, Edelweiss 289 Heavy. Good afternoon. Passing flight level 074 for flight level 100 direct FR 613.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, Lisbon Center. Identified. Climb to flight level 190.
Climb to flight level 190 Edelweiss 289
So that's our initial clearance after Tupix. So after we pass this point, we are going to request flight level 400. Sometimes I get people asking me why I don't have like an AI co-pilot. Well, there is none. Well, there is one from Saint Tensions guys, but I'm not sure how that works. Because currently it's not even available for regular subscribers of the program. I think it's only available in the beta stage or something like that. But even if it was available, I'm not sure how I would go into. So passing 10,000 feet. Turn off external lights. So it looks good. It adds an AI just like Betsy here, but one that actually talks and moves. I believe it also operates some basic stuff in your cockpit or just runs checklists. I'm not sure. What I am sure is that it's the next upcoming big thing for flight simulation to have an AI as co-pilot, which would be awesome. However, St. Engines is paid either with a one-time fee for a certain amount of features or subscribing to more features. So there's a subscription mode for what Beyond ATC does, actually, virtual ATC and traffic. Either mode will be fine if I understood what's what, but I'm honestly confused with how St. Engines work. And even if I subscribe or purchase it right now, I think I wouldn't be able to use the AI anyway, the Copilot AI anyway. Other products out there, there's FS2 Crew, sorry, but they are one shot, so they only do virtual co-pilots for specific planes. So let's say if I wanted to fly the Phoenix, the FS Labs, or this one, Inibuilds, I would have to buy 3 products. So that's not going to happen. I don't mind buying and supporting products I believe in, just like Beyond ATC. I purchased not just the main feature Beyond ATC, which is about 30 euros or something. I also bought the supporters pack to support the team because I believe in what they're doing. But in terms of St. Engines, I'm honestly lost with what to do because I want specific things. I already have synthetic ATC and traffic with Beyond ATC. It's not the best, but I already have it. So what am I going to buy in St. Engines if they want me to buy more, yet another ATC pack? I think I'll pass. I've actually reached them, but I never got a reply. So either I'm being too dumb, or they're just not going to waste time with me. I believe it's the second part, and it's fine with me. I've no hard feelings. So we're going to accomplish our step climb to flight level 400 after 2 picks all the way to Naples. Actually, we should start climbing at Naples, but we'll start before that because we need to request permission to do so. So why do planes need to climb? Well, the more you climb, the air becomes less dense. So the more you climb, the better for engines, for performance, for everything. So ideally, planes should fly always climbing, reaches a peak like a top of descent, and then start descending. Cruise is not ideal, to be honest, for any engine, any plane out there. Yeah, ideally the plane should always be climbing or always descending, but never cruising. Cruising is where the planes, the plane gets lighter, so spends fuel, gets lighter, less fuel on board, but at the same time, the air density is the same. Of course, a plane can climb indefinitely, but there are ways to make like a very shallow climb or a shallow descent to save fuel, and it does save fuel. And the idea is that the efficiency would be much better if the plane didn't cruise at all. It just climbed to a certain point and then start descending to the destination. You can ask any pilot and they can, of course, explain to you much better. So why do we have cruise levels then? The left corner appears a trailer? What do you mean? What do you mean, the trailer? Oh, the little sign that comes here, that appears here on this lower left corner. That's just a reminder there's an FS Labs A321Neo for grabs. So anybody feeling lucky, you can win an FS Labs A321Neo courtesy of FlightSim Labs All you need to do is help me reach 100 subscribers and come here to the chat and tell me why it should be you winning it. And alright, let's pass to Sevilla. And then we'll request flight level 400.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, Sevilla Center, identified.
Alright, there we go. Sevilla Center, Edelweiss 289 Heavy, request new flight level.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, you broke up vague in altitude.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, request flight level 400. Let's see if it takes it.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, confirm new altitude flight level 400.
Affirmative, Edelweiss 289 Heavy.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, roger, climb to flight level 400.
Alright. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so we are stepping the climb a little earlier than what was briefed, but the idea is that as much as we can climb, the faster we can climb, the best. Now, you have to be careful because not to make such a steep profile, because the plane might be too heavy to reach flight level 400, but we know it's not the fact because we already had on our flight plan, we already had an indication of climbing to flight level 400 after NAPES. So even if we currently don't have enough weight to reach that altitude, eventually with the climb rate we'll be getting, we'll reach flight level 400 at Hotel India Juliet right here, as you can see right there. So this is where we'll reach flight level 400. So there's a lot of time to do so. The only question is when you're flying a low, let's close this, no longer needed. When you're flying a smaller or less powerful plane, yeah, these calculations need to be a little tighter. So you don't step climb out of nowhere. You need to understand what your plane's limitations are. You need to make some calculations in terms of weight, fuel consumption, of course, and that will change quite a bit your step climb. But step climbs are good. Always try to fly with step climbs. In fact, I don't know if there's any airline out there flying directly to a route, in a route directly to a certain altitude and remaining there. So as we pass this, there's no weather up front, so let's put this all to auto.
Enterprise 901 QNH1017, expect the NDPD Hemi runway 07 with the Robert transition.
QNH1017, expect the NDPD runway 07 with the Robert transition. Enterprise 901.
I'm a magnanimous captain, so I like to turn off the seatbelt signs as soon as we get to some stabilized climb. Of course, you can always turn it back on if we hit turbulence, for example, but currently we got weather on and there's no significant weather up front, so maybe after this weekend things will change. Predictions say so, but we'll never know. Tropical storm Gabrielle is due to hit the Azores this evening. Probably 200 kilometers per hour wind in Azores. I was very tempted to fly back to the Azores today for that reason. I just wanted to fight the wind, but let's not do that today. I made a promise to Mirsha that I would fly to Zurich, and here I am. Besides, Betsy loves going to Switzerland. She loves that jewelry, those chocolates. I like to make her happy. I'm an old romantic guy.
Runway 02.
Expect you, Kilo
If only she could talk.
02 Alpine 56 Foxtrot Lima.
You know that's the next step, right? Ah, it's alright, Misha. Perfectly alright. As long as people enjoy seeing it, I don't mind doing it. I will accelerate time in a moment so that we don't get to have a boring flight all the way to Zurich. I'll do that in a moment after we reach at least the top of climb, cruise level, flight levels 400. So like I was saying, in the future we will have like interactive pilots in the cockpit with AI. That's gotta be the future of flight simulation. It's already going towards that. Currently, Flight Simulator 2024 does have AI running in the ATC, although it's very rudimentary, clearly turned towards general aviation flying, and it has a lot of trouble parsing some of the aviation terms, but it works. It's not what I would choose to fly here, but it works. So about you guys, what planes would you like me to fly in Flight Simulator 2024? You've seen Airbus A320s, you've seen Boeing 737s, 777s. So Airbus A320, 19, 21, 350, the one we're flying here, 321Neo. So hit me, what would you like to see? I'm open to suggestions as long as it exists in Flight Simulator. If everybody's shy, I'll begin. I would love to fly the Lockheed L111. It's one of my favorite aircraft of all time, and it's a shame we don't have one designed properly for Flight Simulator. I don't even know if there's any company thinking about it. It's a classic plane, three crew member. I would also love to fly the 747, but you know, heavy planes, so long-range planes. I can't make flights here without them getting bored. Without people getting bored to see a plane flying for 6, 8, or 10 hours. It's just unfeasible. I could make time acceleration, but even so, big planes, they're cool and all, but I think I hit this sweet spot with this A350 and the 777-200 where I fly mid-range flights. That's pretty much it. I would love to make transatlantic flights, but can you imagine me sitting here for 10 hours? I can't. I used to do that. I'm a simmer. I used to do that. I used to fly for Air Canada Virtual and did overnight flights through the Atlantic. I did that. I had to fly in VATSIM and fly over Santa Maria Oceanic, which was one of the best ATC controls in VATSIM once upon a time. It was almost 24 hours, 7 days a week, more or less. And I had to fly there, and I remember, I already told this story here, I remember when there were a few guys flying the Concorde on VATSIM, and they would regularly request time acceleration. And you can imagine if the Concorde asked a Concorde Mach 2 flying at 45,000 feet, if they ask for time compression, can you imagine me on a 747 flying out of Toronto to London? Yeah, I wanted to time accelerate, and I did so a few times, but most of the times I would just leave the plane flying to the destination. Sometimes I would go to bed and just let it fly and wake up in the morning to see that either the plane was still flying or it just crashed for some reason, or the flight simulator crashed. The FSX was crap. So was FS 2024. 2004 I mean, so FS9. You know, one of the things I miss a lot, I should have done a flight log of all the flights, a written flight log, one I could keep through the generations of flight simulators, but I didn't. I had a digital flight log for FS9 that I didn't transition to FSX, but when I flew prepared 3D, I didn't continue that flight log, so it's stuck in time. And when I was flying P3D, I was kind of like, yeah, just passing time, nothing serious. I was no longer in any VA, virtual airline, so I didn't really account my flight time. But I can assure you, between then and now, I think I would have more flight hours than most captains that retire these days. I can't really tell if that would be the case, but they don't fly, the real pilots, they don't fly as much as I did back in the day. So making a right-hand turn, we're passing flight level 35360 now. So we're coming up to our top of climb before HIJ, so Hotel India Juliet. You know, flight simulation is a very niche thing. It's very unique. Combat flight simulator, some guys would fly just to shoot a couple of missiles, drop a few bombs. But in order to fly civilian aircraft and not do it professionally, not earning money from it, it's nuts. It's nuts. I once met a guy that loved flying the 737. His passion was the 737. And I can tell you, that guy built a whole simulator in his garage. And he had a family. He had kids. I think he already had a grandson at least. And he had a simulator in the garage. He had a beautiful house, really huge, beautiful house. But every time he would wake up in the morning and he would go to his bunker and just fly the 737. I asked him a couple of times, why don't you take the flying license? And he just said, no, I can't do what I want flying for real. So I want to fly where I want, when I want, how I want. So I built a flight simulator in my garage and I fly whenever I want and do whatever I want, go anywhere in the world, and I do it in style. And it was style. It was a very beautiful, well-built simulator he had at home.
Civilian Center, Airfield 35 Bravo Mike, good evening, flight level 340.
Airfield 35 Bravo Mike, Civilian Center, radar contact.
So we're coming up on our top of climb. We got some tailwind, which is good. It's going to help us get there faster. We currently have a ground speed of 505 knots. We're flying at Mach 8.5. Sorry, 0.85. That's the correct Mach speed. Mach 8.5 would be ludicrous. Mach 8.5. Well, not even the Blackbird would fly that fast. So again, guys, what do you suggest I fly next? Not the next flight, but in the future. What planes would you like to see? So I already shot a couple in the L111 TriStar, 1011 TriStar, Lockheed 1011, or I would love to fly the 747. Those are the two planes I would love to fly next in the near future. But there are more out there, so which ones would you like to see? How about you, Betsy? Which planes would you like me to fly? Oh yeah, Andrew. There's one 757 being built. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the company. I'll try to reach them out to see if their plane is compatible to with FS 2024. I don't think it is yet. I think it was compatible with 2020. But I'll reach them out. I'll ask if what's going on there. Oh yeah, GSX is just a mess. GSX is completely borked. Let's hope it's still there when we land. Alright, coming up on flight level 400. Yeah, Betsy isn't chatting today. She hates my guts. I heard she's a sister to Leah, world famous Leah. Here we go. Flight level 400. We're at cruising altitude, and with that we'll time accelerate, at least passing France. We'll see where we can get from there. So in order to do that, we'll set auto, so 2 times, 4 times. Now we're flying at Mach 4 or something like that. We need to pay attention to our weather because we have information that it is raining in Zurich. Unfortunately, weather within this plane is unusable. I mean, we can try. See if we get all these warnings. What's going on? New cruise altitude, flight level 400. Step deleted, alright, because we're already there. Step ahead. Lots of info we missed. Alright, so let's try again. Yeah, see, it's not updating Zurich. We'll turn off auto update, but I don't think that will do anything. Yeah, not receiving anything. Let's see if I can get it through here. 1745. Yeah, it's long gone. But let's see what this meter will tell us. So currently still raining there. So this has been from 1650 Zulu, about 20 minutes ago in flight time. So rain, still raining there. QNH 1017. I'll request a METAR as we get closer to Zurich, because if it is raining now, we need to pay attention to that. We're expecting Dopil 2 Golf for runway 34, but we'll probably get a different runway. We'll see. Alright, let's prepare that approach, by the way. So what we need to do is set a rifle, search for Dopil 2 Golf, there it is, and this will be our approach. So the approach will form like an S, you'll see. So the airfield is right here, and we go through Dopil, Nolka, and Hermes. And at Hermes we must be at 8,000 or above. Now, after this, we will make a left-hand turn all the way to Gippel. That's our initial point. Now see, the runway is right here. So basically, out of Gippel, most of the approaches will begin. The basic approach to runway 28, if I'm not mistaken, will make us do something like this, like a shape of an S, an inverted S, and then approach. Other approaches will make us go direct out of Gippel to a certain point up here and then turn right. In either case, we need to pay attention to these altitudes, because this is an elevated spot. So you can see that elevation here is quite evident. So we got some minimum altitudes by ATC of well, it's not written here, but minimum altitudes are a bit, around 10,000 feet. something like that. So you see here that there's some mountain ranges here, not too high, but it is Switzerland, and you know Switzerland is full of mountains. And you can see the clearances for these particular areas around the airport are quite evidently high, as well as the minimum altitudes, 8,000 above, 7,000 above. So this is operating on altitude. And let's save this one. It's already pinned. And now let's go to the approach. If we stick with runway 34, it should be an ILS to runway 34. Not sure it will be the one we get it. And this is where the fun begins. So calm down. This looks weird, but it's not that weird. So you see here, as we approach, let's say we come from Dopel. Dopel is somewhere over there. And as we come in from Dopel, we might get this waypoint here, and then turn back down here, and then turn left and in. If we get the correct ILS approach out of Dopel, that will be the case. So it looks weird, it looks convoluted, and it definitely is. Now, one thing to pay attention to is that the glide path is a little steeper than usual. Instead of the regular 3 degrees, let me zoom in because it's probably too small for you. Instead of the regular 3 degrees we often get with these approaches, this one is a 3.3 degree descent. So the glide path is a little steeper than usual. That's by design, because there's probably some obstacles here. Now notice that we'll start descending at 5,000 feet. Usually you start descending on the glide path at 3,000 feet. Well, that's because, like I said earlier, this is altitude. There's altitude in these areas, and there's some mountainous, well, it's not mountainous, but there's some you can see the altitude of these hills here, 5,000 feet, 3,800 feet, 3,700 feet, and we're in this valley here, but there's still some height to these hills here. So there's a hill here at 2,900 feet. So we'll definitely not be making our approach at 3,000 feet, but at 5,000 feet we'll start descending all the way down, and the runway altitude is 1,388 feet. So you see, this is a kind of a steep descent towards a altitude airport. Our decision height will be 1588 or 200 AGL. That's mostly 200 AGL is pretty much the standard for most ILS approaches. We'll use the decision height based on barometric altitude, so that's 1,588 feet for the standard approach. If we go through different types of ILS approaches, so if the visibility is reduced, let's say it's reduced in this case, if it's reduced by 550 meters, then we can apply a higher decision height, but we'll stick to the standards here.
Nostrum Air 13 X-ray uniform, descend to flight level 140.
Descend to flight level 140, Nostrum Air 13 X-ray uniform.
So we're flying at oh my, went dark pretty quick. Let's look outside, appreciate our little plane. Let's make a picture here. Beautiful. So it went dark pretty quick. That's because our time acceleration So here's Betsy. I'm going to show you something I don't usually show, but it's cool to see that these developers go to great lengths to simulate the planes. So if we go back here within our cabin, you will notice that there's a trapdoor here. If you open it, you will see that inside there are the plane's computers. So here we go. So welcome to the brain of the A350. I'm going to turn on my flashlight. Oops. Oh, come on. Flashlight is out of batteries. There you go. So yeah, this is the plane's computers. Everything you can think of. So navigation. These are the batteries here. I believe these are the two. One is the backup, one is the main one, so one is emergency. There are two more on the other side. I believe these are the batteries. Correct me if I'm wrong. But everything else is, each and one of these computers, it operates something on the aircraft. It could be autopilot, it could be navigation, whatever. And these are quite extensive. It's a very large room. You can see the blinking lights for every single system that is operational. Hard drives, Avionics as well. They're all controlled from down here. Some of these panels are closed by default, and they should be closed. There are the two other batteries. And as you can imagine, this is a very well climatized room. Betsy's up there handling. So below here, there's the nose landing gear beneath. There's the hatch that you open from the outside to climb on board. So the maintenance crew can open this hatch from outside and enter this room from the outside. They don't need to go up there to the main deck. And there's a door here for the aft section. So mainly this is the cargo compartment, if you want. And you can see it. I mean, it's pretty big. It is a transatlantic jet in the end of the day. Unfortunately, that door doesn't open, but why would you want to go down there? So we climb back up to the cabin, and this is a very spacious cabin. Let's close this trapdoor so nobody falls in. You can see that it's also very noisy down there if you didn't pay attention. Cabin is sweet. This looks like a spaceship. Doesn't look like a plane. Look at this. Look at the shape of the seats, and even the cloth they use for the seats is pretty nice with the stars. It's like a starship. Let's turn off the flashlight. No longer needed. Oh, there it goes. Look at this beautiful plane. Betsy's doing a great job there. You can also see that there's a crew compartment here for their vests and all that. These are the very important safety pins that it's actually part of the checklist that you look at the pins and you get the pins on board. This is the third crew member. Most of these flights are performed by 3 crew members, and that's a jump seat for probably a guest or something. Alright, so this is the main door. As you can see, it's reinforced, it's bulletproof. Some say it's explosion proof, but you know, that's just probably being dramatic. This is a crew rest right here. I deliberately went through the door because this doesn't open for some reason. I try as I must, I never got it to open. But we can open the toilet. We can enter the toilet. can close the door actually. And we can even flush. What's easy to access, Misha? The avionics bay? Are you talking about the avionics bay? So this is the front galley. And there's some curtains here. This is the first class lounge. Or, sorry, not the lounge, the first class section. Currently the lights are a bit dim. People are enjoying their entertainment, although in this particular cabin everything is turned off by default. I'm not going to go aft because I need to get back to the cockpit. Misha, if you're talking about the avionics bay, yeah, it's supposed to be easy to access from the ground. Not because you and I could do it. The door is accessible only to maintenance. But yeah, you can easily access it for maintenance purposes, of course. So, I'm gonna sit down here. Am I sitting in the right spot? What do you think? Betsy is not talkative. So looking at our flight plan here. So we still don't have we no longer need Faro. We needed the Zurich, but it's not going to happen. Let's see if I can get it somewhere else. Let's go to request. No, not possible. The only possible would be through D80s, but it's not working. So yeah. We're still in France. We're in Marseille, so this is where we are at. We'll be soon entering the Zurich, the Switzerland air traffic control area. But still got some length. I'm just worried about. So top of descent will be after Lamour. Still not visible here. Alright, right there, so before Goudax. I'm concerned that we're flying at such a high altitude, flight level 400. Sometimes ATC will get us to descend very steeply, and there's just no time to decelerate or descend the plane. I think we are getting some turbulence up ahead. Nothing serious yet, but there will definitely be rain showers in Zurich. Let me reset this camera here. Much better. We're getting some mild turbulence. That seems the time is accelerated. You see that the bumps are a bit more prevalent, but that's not serious just yet. So again, guys, if you want to fly in style, I have a key for the FlightSim Labs A321Neo. completely free for either Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024, your choice. You can use it on both. You have one license that works on both. All you need to do is help me reach 100 subs. I'm currently at 73, 74, I'm not sure. So I need to reach 100. And then you need to come here to the chat and tell me why it should be you winning it. That's it. And I'll pick a winner. As easy as that. I already have 3 participants. 3 people that already came forth and say that they wanted to fly the A321Neo. And so I have a key for one of these 3, but if you want to join the party and tell me why it should be you, convince me. Maybe I'll go for it. I'd certainly love to hear you guys. If you want to help the channel, on your upper right screen you got a QR code for Buy Me a Coffee feature. All you need to do is use your cell phone with your camera, zoom in, make sure it's correctly centered on your camera, and your phone should link you to my page. There's also a link in the description below if you're not savvy with QR codes, and there's a link right here pinned to this chat room. Nightbot kindly reminded people about it. So 2 ways to support me. Help by one can give you actually a 70 euro worth module for you guys. I would love to have that. I purchased my FlightSim Labs A321Neo, so that's quite a privilege for you guys to get one for free. And let me tell you, it's a great plane. So we are about to enter Switzerland airspace.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, Mass 8 control, expect Delta 2 Golf, runway 14.
Okay, so there's a runway change. Let's go back to normal time. So we are expecting Dopig 2 Golf. Dopey 2 Golf. So let's open the approach here. So you see, same approach, Dopey 2 Golf. Let's reply back, otherwise I think I'm Nordo. So, but we're instead going to runway 14, ILS 14 via GIP 14. So 2 different approaches. Temporary insert, temporary. All right, so let's. Let's just call it and say we're ready for descent.
Topic 2 Golf, runway 14 ready for descent. Edelweiss 289 Heavy.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, descend to flight level 120.
Descent to flight level 120, Edelweiss 289 Heavy.
Alright.
Airfins 26 Victor Romeo, contact Mass 8 control 130.85.
Getting our passengers back to their seats and starting our managed descent for now. There we go, managed descent. So rule of thumb about managed descent is that you rarely get to descend with managed descent. So
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, contact Mass 8 control 120.85.
one final pass.
120.85, Edelweiss 289 Heavy.
So let's change our runway. So runway 14, where is it? GLS, no, ILS. There we go. These 2 pins. Alright, so we got this one. We can unpin. We got Dopil 2 Golf for now. So we need to go to Gipple and then all the way to runway 14. So this is our approach right here for runway 14. So our decision height will need to be decision height is 1602. So let's enter our destination data. So let's request our weather system here.
Geneva radar, Edelweiss 289 heavy, descending viaduct at 2 Golf, flight level 386.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, Geneva radar identified.
So we need to get our sigmets. So this is Faro, no, there it is. So let's go to our performance page. Approach. Mag wind will be variable 1 knot, so pretty much no wind. So let's just call it 300 at 1 knot. And outside temperature is 11. QNH 1019. There's no significant change currently. Also, it's not raining anymore, so that's good. So our decision height will be 1602 barrel. 1602. And we'll be landing at config flaps 3. Our VLS will be 133 knots. So good news, no rain, at least for the landing bit, no rain in Zurich. So let me just confirm this plane does not have a config 3 GPWS inhibit, because I'm used to that in the Airbus A320 family. Alright, so now, as you can see, we're going a little bit below the ideal glide path. So we are 3,200 feet below the glide path. In order to make sure we don't overshoot the intended path, we might need to go manual on the descent, but we'll do that in a moment if needed. I prefer to go lower than the desired altitudes than above, because it's harder to decelerate if you need to come down. There are some pretty cool calculations you can make. One of them is the rule of 3, so it's like you look at your altitude, your current altitude, you look at your speed, and you can make a calculation to figure out how many miles you will need to descend at the current descent rate. But if you're like me and you're not really, it's one of the reasons I'm not a real life pilot, is math. So if you're like me, you don't like to do math, you just need to follow this vertical line here. And as you can see, my plane is slightly below it. Let's switch to Zurich radar. Betsy's doing a great job today. She always does a great job, right guys? She only hates me, but she does her job pretty good. Some people will say, well, if you prepare a certain approach, why don't you just call Beyond ATC and tell it that you want a different approach? And as you can see, there's an option there, request different approach. But only if I'm really confident about the weather at the destination will I do that. When I know the airport that well, then I'll probably just say, no, I just want the other approach or the other runway, because you know, even if the wind is not helping, but maybe I can do a better job, especially if there are runways without ILS. So let's say in Porto, for example, runway 35 does not have an ILS, only one runway 17, and predominant winds might force me on ATC to think, well, it's better if you land on runway 35. Well, it's normal for planes to land with tailwind. There's a limitation to that, of course, but it's not unseen. If the predominant flights fly through a certain approach and a certain ILS approach, then it's okay to have some tailwind as long as it is within limitations. Most aircraft can fly up to 10 nautical miles in tailwind, and it's fine. Why is it accelerating? Oh, I see. It's following managed descent now. It intercepted the managed descent rate, and as you can see, the side effect of that is now it's descending quite steeply towards that steer point over there. So we don't want that. So how do we do that? We just pull the speed towards us, switch it to speed, and let's reduce it to 300 knots, and the plane will force itself to decel, or it should. If that doesn't help, just pull out the speed brakes as I did just now. You can see the speed brake symbology here. So the speed is now reducing to 300 knots. And really, don't be ashamed to pull the speed to yourself. So manage speed, manage descent is all fine and dandy. It's designed to work well, but sometimes you might need to contradict the plane, because as you can see, following this little green dot there, yeah, it's sometimes it's dangerous because it leads you to steep descents, overspeeding, and you don't want that. And remember, we came out of flight level 400, so let's not take chances to be too shallow on the approach, but let's not go crazy with the deep dive. ATC just tells you what altitude it wants you to go. It doesn't tell you how fast it wants you to go. Is it true? Do we have? No, nothing there. Might as well just ignore that. We already have our approach data here based on the METAR we consulted. So our speed is within the 300 knots we were expecting, so let's not allow the plane to accelerate. I just retracted my speed brakes to keep it on those 300 knots I previously set up. Now notice the plane wants to descend steeper, actually shallower, because the performance is still up there. But watch when we cross the performance, as the plane will want to like nosedive towards it. We'll not allow that. We'll keep descending at a reasonable rate. See, now it's 1,500, 2,000 feet per minute, and we'll continue to do so just to keep up with this performance line. But you don't need to go that steep, because watch, as we go at 2,500 feet per minute descending, our speed will go beyond what we wanted, so our preset speed. So there's a game to be played here, and pilots usually just ignore the performance descent, so the managed descent, and they'll set up a manual descent rate, and that's exactly what we'll do. So we press to open descent, and now we go to with probably 2,500 feet, and you'll see it's much more manageable. 2,000 feet.
6,000 feet, QNH1019 at Edelweiss 289 heavy.
So we are now authorized to descend to 6,000 feet.
Contact Zurich arrival 130.568 Edelweiss 289 heavy.
And as you can see, we're a little bit above the managed descent, but we got so many curves. You can see that it's like that S I was talking about. That's by design.
expect the ILS runway 14 with the JIP 14 transition.
JIP 14 transitions, the one we selected, so we are good to go.
Edelweiss 289 Heavy, clear direct JIPO, cross JIPO until above 6,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 14.
We are clear for the ILS, so we can continue our descent.
Cleared ILS runway 14, Edelweiss 289 Heavy.
So remember, it's the 5,000 feet, not 3,000. You see, I went to the default 3,000, and it's not 3,000, 5,000 feet. So pay attention to your charts; they will help you. Actually, for this approach, if it's even lower, it's 4,000 feet. So sorry about that. I was thinking about the previous approach we had selected. All right, we're now going to engage in this little gincana, if you want. Like, it's not even realistic the way it's designed here. So if you want to do these types of things and not overshoot them, remember, reduce your speed. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to reduce our speed. Let's reduce it below 200 knots. 250 knots, I mean. Let's go to 240 knots. And now that it's in managed descent, the plane nose will rise to decelerate. And this is actually helping us because now the turns will be, the turn radius will be tighter. If you keep up with 300 knots during these turns, you will definitely overshoot these green lines. Remember, this is a big plane. It has a lot of inertia. Don't take chances. Don't make hard turns. Although you might feel tempted to do so. So we are expecting a dry runway, but things can change. But let's go through our approach checklist. So we don't have a better reference yet. We'll complete that in a moment. We have set our minimums, our runway condition. Yeah, let's set it to dry for now, dry 6. And auto brake, let's set it to let me press this thing out. Yeah, there we go. So we are going to go for medium. That's it. You can see here, medium. All right, let's go here to our landing performance. Sync the weather. And compute. So we got, oh, sorry. So brake mode will be medium. Landing technique, well, let's do it manual. Reverse, yes. Config 3. Now we can compute it. Yes. All right. So we got a very cool stop margin of 1,413 meters using the manual approach. And we got our, where's our approach speed? Our VAP. Am I missing something here? So the most important thing is not calculated here. At least for me, it's the VAP. We don't have it here, but we'll have it here. Let me go back to our performance approach. VAP will be 138 knots. We'll add a 5 knots margin, so we can have like a buffer, and our VAP will be 143 knots. So Switzerland, beautiful country, lots of green, lots of cows, lots of chocolate, lots of watches. Really amazing destination, to be honest. I would love to visit. I've never been to Zurich. I'd love to.
Swiss 122 Charlie, Zurich arrival, QNH 101, and expect the ILS runway
Another plane cleared for the ILS 14 via GIP 14, GIP 14. I believe it's this plane right here. It's a little above us. Actually, it's below us, 1,900 feet. There's the airport right there, by the way. We still need to go back, turn back in to land. So let's reduce our speed here to 200 knots. Let's turn on our landing system. So now we are downwind to the runway, so oh, Dumb Alley. This is you can download it from Beyond ATC website over in downloads. You'll have this to work with the plane's own, the flight simulator own menu. You'll have like a button here. I don't know if you can see it. It's right beneath my, yeah, you can see it. And you can also have a flight map to look into your surrounding ATC planes. Alright, so we are, you can get it on the Beyond ATC website. So here we are, a little far off from our Dopil arrival. So this is a special procedure for runway 14, so we'll forget about that because we are now right here and we're looking into run ILS for runway 14. We're just going uphill, turning right and then right again to runway 14. So it's not listed here, and I don't think it's listed here either. Yep, it's not listed here. This is a GLS with GPS approach. Yeah, we only have Dopil. Oh, there it is. Here we are. So we're going up here to ZH408, then ZH428, and then right turn directly, for ZH410, and then direct to the airport. Thanks, guys. So we are a little too high for this approach, but remember we need to reach flight level 400. Here comes the glide path, as you can see here. So we're going to turn off the approach mode and hope we get there sooner rather than later. I'm going to make a steeper descent here. So let's go 2,000 feet descent on a vertical speed. Hello. Why is it climbing? I just told it to descend. I'm pressing the button and it's just defaulting to climb. Not sure what's going on here. I just wanted to intercept the ILS. Whoops. passing our transition altitude. Let's go to QNH. What was it? 1019. Here you go. Now we can perform our approach checklist. Bear reference 109 and cross check. Approach checklist complete. Let's go for the landing checklist. Let's leave it open here. It's basically the ECAM status. There's a runway right there.
Zurich arrival. Swiss 105
We got lock boxed. GS is also armed.
Swiss 105 Whiskey Zurich arrival.
Whoops, sorry. Just pressed the flaps. I wanted the speed brakes.
With the Army 140 position.
QNH 1019er, expect the ILS runway 14 with the Army 14 transition. Swiss 105 Whiskey.
Let's reduce to our VAP approach speed. 143 knots as fragged or as briefed.
Swiss 1111 cleared direct Amiki, cross Amiki at turf of 7,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 14.
Clear direct Amiki, cross Amiki, at above 7,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 14, Swiss 1111.
So flaps are coming out for flaps 1.
$2,500.
2,500 check. Olá Diniz, boa noite. Tudo bem.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, contact you, tower 118.1, bye-bye.
Sorry about that, just lining up my track IR.
Edelweiss 289 heavy. Zurich Tower, Edelweiss 289 heavy, ILS runway 14.
Edelweiss 289 heavy, Zurich Tower, wind variable, runway 14.
Speed check flaps 2.
Runway 14 cleared to land, Edelweiss 289 heavy.
Gear coming down.
$2,500.
Let's arm our speed brakes. Speed check flaps 3. We are clear to land.
2,000.
Check, sorry. Cabin's not ready. Let's press that magic button up here.
1,000.
Cabin's still not ready. Landing checklist complete. Come on. Good approach. We're confident enough. Let's put my feet on the pedals and autopilot off.
$1,000.
1,000 check. Little low. We got 0 wind. How often do you see that? Can't blame the wind if this doesn't go right? Little too high. Let's go down. 500 check.
400.
Check.
300.
Check.
100 above. 200.
Minimum. Continue.
100. 90. 80. 70. 60. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Auto brake on. Reverse. My bad. My bad. Sorry about that. Roll out. Reverser back in. Auto brakes off.
Exit right next available taxiway.
Exit right next available taxiway. Edelweiss 289 heavy.
So this plane doesn't have an auto brake off. It has a master warning and a signal here. Exiting next available taxiway. It says exit here. Welcome to Switzerland. Welcome to Zurich. Landing in Inibuilds should have been cleared by now.
Edelweiss 289 heavy. Request taxi to company gate.
See where it takes us. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. What's my discretion? I'm gonna request to follow me. Just gonna wait here for the follow me. Yeah, it's beautiful. Shame it's nighttime. It's the only time I got available to fly. ATC is always allowing me to fly at night, so only allows me to fly at night, so let's wait for the follow me. We no longer need this beyond ATC window. I don't see the follow me anywhere. There he comes.
Ramp India 5 taxi at pilot's discretion. Ramp India 5 taxi at my discretion. Helvetic 1 Golf Echo.
Let's go after it. So single engine taxi in. Standard procedure. So is the landing flaps 3, by the way. I'll talk about it after we move to the gate. Oops. I believe there's a plane after behind us, so that's why we are hearing this awful noise. I don't know why it's still saying landing inhibit. So the reason why ATC just told me to taxi at my own description is probably because this Zurich airport is not a Flight Simulator 2024 native. This is a scenery I purchased for 2020 back in the day. And I don't think there's one for 2024, but this one is compatible. It's just a shame that apparently the taxiways aren't correctly defined. I believe our gate is somewhere to our right here. Oh. Did it take a wrong turn? I think it did take a wrong turn. We'll just keep following it. Brakes are hot. Let's turn our brake fan here. I wasn't braking that much, but... Oh, we're gonna cross the runway just like that? Yeah, you can hear the ATC telling other pilots to taxi at their discretion. This is not correct, as you may imagine. Looks like our gate is somewhere over there. Oops. Hello. What is it doing? So it's the right-hand turn, not a left-hand turn. Oh, it's right there. So gate 101. Sorry, Betsy, need to look beyond you. Oh, there's a plane there already. Oh. Oh my. You know what? Let's just go for... Where are we? There's a plane there already. I can't park there. See? This thing is out of his mind. Let's go for A49. This one. Is it a heavy gate? It doesn't look like a heavy gate. I mean, give it to Beyond ATC and GSX to mess this one up, right? So let's go inside the plane. Let's go. What the gate number is? Alpha 49. Not sure that's gonna work, but we'll try. Alpha 49. Oop. Hello. Alpha. You know what? Let's just warp to the gate. We're wasting so much time with GSX today. Let's just warp to a heavy gate. This is a... Okay, stand 55. Just warp me there. Alright, this one's good enough. It's just waiting for the objects to populate. I don't like to be waiting for stuff, you know. Alright. We're here. So let's just wait for everything to
The boarding requested.
Alright, let's go for DNATA. Chocks are on. Parking checklist. Parking brakes. Chocks set. Engines are off. Wing lights. They are off. And the fuel pumps will be turned off in a moment. Parking checklist complete. Alright, welcome to Switzerland. So our passengers will now be deboarded. Beautiful plane, beautiful flight, quite uneventful. So here come the little cars, the car to take the cargo containers. We already have our external power. Let's turn it on. Turn off our APU. We got a brake temperature warning. So we exceeded our 250 degrees centigrade maximum temperature for this warning to be triggered. So we have our chokes on, so parking brake preferred chocks. Come on. Let's go up here. Alright. And now we needed to delay the next takeoff for cooling. But we are not going to do that for now, so we're just going to leave the let's clear the ECAM status. We're not going to leave, that's what I mean. So yeah, aside from the fact that my ATC just told me to taxi at my own discretion, which never happens, aside from the fact that GSX borked itself out of Faro and borked again when we arrived here by giving me the wrong gate with another plane already parked there. Other than all that, it was a very uneventful flight, a very pleasant flight, and no rain, which is good and bad. It's good because, you know, landing with rain is always a bit dangerous, but it's bad because we like the show. We like the rainy approach, we like the visual effects, we like all that. I can tell you right now that this particular airfield is not well optimized for Flight Simulator 2024, which is a shame. I hope one day they'll make a Zurich airport native to 2024, because this one's definitely not optimized. It's a frame rate drops, noticeable, very noticeable. So again, welcome to Zurich. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for your kind visit and your kind support. Jose, Mirsha, let me turn off my track IR so I can lean in better. Jose, Mirsha, Andrew, Dumley, LPCB, Denise, thank you. And there was someone else before. Who was it? Where is it? Blathering Human, the first guy to comment besides Mirsha. So everybody that watched and those that didn't feel the confidence to chat, it's perfectly fine. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all. Appreciate your visiting. Appreciate your kindness, and hope to see you next time. And thank you so much. Oh, before I go, next flight will be out of Zurich to Athens. And I'll pick Aegean to fly out of this airport to Athens by suggestion from Mirsha Mahai as well. So as for the plane I'll be taking, The jury's still out. Still not decided which plane I'll take next. Definitely not the A350 this time, but we'll see. One cool plane for sure. So guys, thank you so much. Hope to see you next time. Remember, leave a like, subscribe if you want to help the channel. There's a buy me coffee this link in the description.
Passengers bus is
I love to fly.
There's a song.
In the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the
See you next time, guys.
adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the